I mean, it's kind of like when you, some really expensive snakes, they amputate the guinea pig's legs and defang it, take its teeth out so it can't bite the snake when the snake eats it because they don't want the snake to be hurt. Or they'll drug the guinea pig with a drug that doesn't affect the snake so the guinea pig doesn't hurt it. We've been neutralized to be like a guinea pig. It's had its eyes gouged out, its teeth pulled out, its legs cut off, dropped into the snake. And that's what this social Darwinism is. And that's what carbon taxing is, teaching us we're bad. They take our own survival instinct and say, if the Earth's going to survive, we've got to kill ourselves. They're teaching us our own survival system, our own survival propulsion system is a thought crime.
They are, and I was reading an article recently from the United Nations about the idea of power and total power, where they say that eventually the world governmental system will be the only authorized authority that can legally use violence. And that's what it's all about. So anyone beneath that, all your family squabbles and so on, or robbers coming into your house, that just happens amongst the animals. You're all animals. We see you as one big mass, and therefore we can't allow you to use violence yourself.
And they call that the power monopoly of force.
That's right. Yeah.
That's in a UNNATURAL document, July 7th, 2001, where they said that's why the American people must be armed. And the bill has been introduced by the Democrats. Barack Obama, if they pass it, is set to sign it, where the Attorney General can ban any and all guns simply by uttering the word ex cathedra. Literally as God Emperor. I mean, this, you can't make it up. It's up on Infowars.com now in the News and Focus archive, or featured story archive. Let's go to another caller here. This isn't a drill, folks. This is for real. This is happening. Let's go ahead and talk. Joe hung up. Bill in Illinois and then others. Bill, you're on the air with Alan Watt.
Hi, gentlemen. I was hoping that we could just roll into the weekend and give people some hope. I know that all the information that comes out is really paralyzing and scary to most people, but the more you dive into it and see what's going on and try to wake people up and knock them out of their comas, I'm seeing a groundswell of people waking up in the Chicagoland area, and everybody is being laid off. They're trying to figure out how they're going to make rent or put food on the table, and now's the time when people are paying attention. And now's the time where we can all start to organize and provide solutions and start a blog or make videos or pass out your DVDs and get people to be aware.
Well, I agree, but here's an analogy, and we'll get Alan's comment and then let you counter-comment. If someone is taking this information we're giving as paralyzing, they shouldn't. The establishment, through chemicals, through the media, through the television, through the culture, because then we pick up the propaganda and regurgitate, then that gives it with the pheromone activation, in the true third dimension, the reality trigger in the mind, but that gets into some more sophisticated issues that I've seen. We have to understand that it's like they've given us a big shot of a sedative, okay? And then this show is literally a shot of adrenaline where you're laying on a railroad tracks, you've been shot up full of Thorazine, you can't get up. Alan Watt and I are coming in with adrenaline going, to where you can actually get up and get off the track. And so we're just telling you the full truth, folks, so you know what you're facing, okay? Because if people are being paralyzed by this, I mean, I don't know about you in my life, but, I mean, Alan, when somebody starts swinging at you, I don't feel paralyzed. I go into gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you must do. Again, this is a war, and when you realize it is a war strategy, and you're in it whether you like it or not, then you have to fight back with all that you can do, no matter what it is, and don't be overwhelmed by it. This has been on the go before we were born, and when you realize it's always a long-term system, long-term goals, then you're still in the battle. It's not over until the fat lady sings. And
yeah, you can't opt out of this. You can't opt out of this. You were born into this.
Yes, and what you have to do, too, is realize those things which are paralyzing you, those things which are numbing your brain, like the television, and stop watching it, start reading, getting into the factual information that is put out by the authorities themselves. You can find this stuff. It's all over the place. And realize this is all very, very real. What can I do? And start doing something. I started off handwriting stuff and photocopying stuff and sending it out to hundreds of people who had a voice when I had none. And that's the sort of thing that you have to do. You have no option but to do something. And you are an active combatant in this system, whether you like it or not, because the elite have declared war upon you.
Well, that's what I do. I try to bring people that I respect and I think have information that's needed to this large platform, the biggest in alternative media. And that's why this platform is so precious, folks, and why we need your financial support. Because we're trying to do, this isn't a very big operation compared to the establishment. It's tiny. But compared to the Liberty Movement, this is about as big and as strong as it gets. And it's very expensive. And so please buy the books and videos, donate. I'm glad to see that the auction there is over $45,000 for the bullhorn. I had no idea it would go that high. But that is very, very exciting. And doesn't close out till next Wednesday night, so we'll see what happens with that. But, sir, go ahead. Anything else you wanted to add there briefly, Bill? I agree with you. Now is the time that people are finally, while the New World Order is finally emerging, and by the way, Governor Blagojevich has been impeached by the Illinois House, and he faces trial now in the Senate. Go ahead.
Alex, I was just going to add that, and I've said this before, the old saying of "we are the ones we've been waiting for." I thank you. You guys actually have posted some of my videos on your site this week, and I encourage people to check out How to Stop the New World Order. It's Alex and David Icke giving you some information. It's hard-hitting, and hopefully it'll inspire you to get off your butt and to start becoming an active member.
Thank you, sir. Got to move on to other callers. Thank you. Let's go ahead and take another one here. Let's talk to Mark in Oregon. Mark, you're on the air worldwide. Go ahead.
Thank you, Alex, and hello to you, and hello to Alan. Alex, I want to just mention quickly, as a quick aside here to my main body of my call, I really, if you can, I would urge you to have another money bomb as soon as possible. I figure you probably got a very limited amount of artifacts there, which would probably all auction very well. But if that be the case, perhaps that will take the place of a money bomb for a time. But whatever it takes, Alex, in order for you to be able to do your job unhindered by lack of funds at this point, because they're really up in the ante faster than, well, like you say, sometimes it takes your breath away these days. They're moving so fast. And they are pulling everything off the shelf at one time, using it all at one time in order to overwhelm us at this point. This is their strategy. I firmly believe that. But, Alan, the ultra-elite, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the English royalty, and the royalty of the Netherlands, the Vatican, Black Jesuit sect, they've been promised by their God, whom they call Lucifer, that they're going to inherit the earth. And he has the name of Satan now, and he is the devil. But they do his bidding in order to get this deal of inheriting the whole earth eternally. And of course, the destruction and or aberration of all of God's creation on this planet is the devil's bidding. So we see that. But they're so under the illusion of Satan, the master of illusion, that they don't realize that, as the Bible prophesizes, they will fall completely in their efforts and completely fail to accomplish their efforts, and actually are going to burn eternally in hell.
Do you have a question or comment?
They're not going to destroy it all.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the question part of it, Alex, is, Alan, to your knowledge, who is the elite Maximus these humans are above the usual, most well-known villains that I've mentioned?
Well, you might be closer to a truth than you realize. There's definitely a power in this world that's making itself manifest through these people. And one of the symptoms of it is the fact that you can't get so many thousands of workers working towards this New World Order, this planned horror society, where they're all like clones of each other on every single topic. That in itself is not normal. It's unnatural. So there's definitely something working through them. It's up to the individuals who do the study to figure out what it is.
Well, people call it spirituality, but they've proven the sixth sense. They've proven that we're only seeing a thin band of the full spectrum, and the sixth sense, or Aborigines always know when their mother dies. They can be 3,000 miles away in a mine, and they come out, and every time, like say an Australian say, my mother just died, fly me out there, and they're always right. I mean, and I've experienced things like that. And it's true, the elite are tied together by almost like a spiritual broadcasting system. It's like they're downloading the same evil directory. What is that, Alan, in your opinion?
Well, you went into the ancient writings, even before what we know as the Bible was written. They did talk about a war in the heavens and in the earth. This is pre-Hebrew. and it wasn't over. It would last for thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years before the next clash would come along. And it was, again, written about in the Zoroastrian mysteries later on, to do with good and evil itself, always in battle with each other. And it's up to the individual, as I say, how they interpret this, but all you can really do, ultimately, is to interpret it according to your own personal life's experience.
Yeah, I can tell you how the elite interpret it. They're kind of along the fifth element line.
Mm-hmm.
And they
but
worship...
They do understand both sides and how to manipulate both sides of it, too.
Well, that's the Illuminati mystery religion, is the balance that they believe in. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your call. Michael, Dan, and Scott, final call, straight ahead, with the always intriguing Alan Watt. I'm Alex Jones. In closing, I want you to visit cuttingthematrix.com, and we'll throw that up on the prisonplanet.tv screen right now for you, and buy some of Alan Watt's books and videos, because he's barely scraping by and just does such important work, and so that's why we have him here. So be sure and support him there at the site by actually buying some of the books and videos. He's got it all up there for free, too, but you need to purchase some of this and have hard copies and support him. Okay, let's jam in a few final calls here. Michael in Mass, quick question for Alan Watt.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Pretty good.
I wanted to bring up a topic for kind of deep conversation, see if you can get deep and sophisticated on this one. The document called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars.
Colonel Alexander.
Absolutely. To me, that document, I mean, that's basically the Rosetta Stone for the New World Order plan. I mean... No,
they're cell towers, they're chemtrails. We're being hit with silent, soft-kill weapons.
Absolutely, it's all in there. You know, I'm sure, you guys probably weren't prepared for, like, a real deep convo on this, but I was hoping that maybe in the future, you guys could get together for, like,
Sir, we're totally prepared, but we got 2 minutes left.
All right. Well, Alan, what do you think?
Yeah, as Brzezinski said it in the Technotronic era, he mentioned this technology briefly, but it's been set up for a lot. It's old technology, but they're now setting up the equipment publicly in high concentration areas, and it will be used during the coming riots. Yeah.
I've been trying to...
Go ahead.
I've been trying to kind of talk to a lot of... I live in Massachusetts, and there's, a huge Masonic community in this particular state, and I'm trying to explain to a lot of these people that, they don't always tell you the truth, even if you are an initiate. And I try to explain... And I want to know if I'm accurate when I say this. Most of the symbology has two meanings, and they use the dual meanings for psychological profiling.
Or more. Let me explain how it works in a nutshell, and we got to end the show, and I appreciate your call, and I'm sorry to the other callers. I promise next time's Alan on, you call and say you got cut off, you'll go to the head of the line, and we'll let Alan close the show out with his comment on this. It's triple, quadruple meaning. The porch masons, the masons, you can argue if they were taken over, they're always bad. It's meant to control good men. And so later, as higher-level Masons, they make them write out, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in that situation? If you're a good person, they say, oh, good, you're one of us, but they shelve you. If you're evil, they raise you up and elevate you. Alan Watt, closing comments on that.
Well, they ask them at the top, do you want to be have the crown or do you want to be a servant? So when it takes the crown is put off to the sidelines. Everything's a test, yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else, Alan?
Yes, the lower Masons, as Pike said, are just the outer portico. They're no different than, they know no more than the general public, but they're useful idiots.
Alan Watt, great talking to you. We'll talk to you again in the near future. God bless.
And you too.
We're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Rebroadcast starts one place. Infowars.com right now. We'll be back in 1 minute. Stay with us. Have a great weekend. Great job.